From the basement of New York's drama bookstore to Broadway's Booth Theater, Freestyle Love Supreme has had quite the journey in New York's theater scene. And in a new Hulu documentary original, members such as Lin-Manuel Miranda, Thomas Kail, Anthony Veneziale, and more take us from their early days in 2005 to the big Broadway reunion. Take a look.
People decided that we seemed like we knew what we were doing, and so they gave us the keys to the drama bookshop. Alan Hubby, who was the owner of the drama bookshop at the time, said, "Hey, would you create theater here?" We were so young and dumb. We were like, of course, we know how to create theater.
We spent a lot of time in that basement, and Anthony was kind of running the Arthur C. Lynn Theater. That was sort of the job.
We started making stuff in a small room, much like this, that was painted black where nobody was paying attention to us. And that was our lab.
And Freestyle Love Supreme co-creator Anthony Veneziale, aka Two Touch, is here with us now. Welcome, Anthony. So good to see you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Sarah. Great to see you.
Oh my God, I loved watching this movie because, as you know, I loved the Broadway show. I went to see you guys on Broadway. It was so much fun. It was so nice to kind of see how this whole thing started and came together. So before In the Heights, before Hamilton was Freestyle Love Supreme. So tell everybody a little bit about what it is and kind of how this whole thing came to be.
We are an improv freestyle rap group. You know, it's a bunch of friends who look very different from one another and who think differently from one another, who decided to try to do this thing called freestyling and put a show around it. I've held a firm belief that that diversity is always a strength. And so I wanted to see people and hear people who weren't generally up doing improv. Yeah. And try to find a show that kind of met the language and the goals of a disparate group. And so that's how Freestyle Love Supreme started.
What I found amazing in the documentary is that you guys have this footage going back like 15 years. So is this all in the works? You're like, this is what we're going to do, and this is going to live on forever, so let's start recording ourselves. Like, when they
Not at all.
The documentary, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, you know, actually, so my dear friend Andrew Freed, who is one of the hardest working producers out there. I mean, he's got some of the biggest shows on Netflix. So Andrew Freed came and saw our show. A friend of his brought him, and he saw the show, and he was just like, "What is this?" You know, I think most people who saw our show at that time were just like, "This is unlike anything I've ever seen before." And he was just really intrigued, and he was just starting to work for Radical Media. And he went into the office of John Kamen, who runs Radical Media, and he was like, "I just saw this show, and these people, and this thing that they're doing, they're going to Edinburgh, and I just have a feeling that this is a thing." And John was like, "All right, go ahead and follow them around." And it wasn't under the auspice of making a documentary. It was just like, what can we do with this skill set? And then Andrew kind of followed us on a lot of different projects that we had worked on. And this is the culmination of like 15 years worth of material.
How awesome is that, though? I mean, and you mentioned this in the documentary, I think it was you, just how Freestyle Love Supreme is kind of shaping the future of theater, or how it's affected theater now. What do you kind of hope it does for theater?
My goal at the beginning of this, and continues to always be, to help foster a diverse group of creative voices. Yeah. I think that's what this does. I think this skill set, and we have since started something called the Freestyle Love Supreme Academy. And that academy is with the sole purpose of doing that, is creating a safe space where people can share these ideas and these failures in a like quick, small, low risk environment, so that they will then embolden themselves and strengthen some of these synaptic connections around creativity. And I think, you know, we've got a pretty good track record of alumni. You know, like if you look at Lin-Manuel Miranda, Chris Jackson, James Monroe, David Diggs, Utkarsh Ambudkar. I mean, these names, the skill sets that you get from this thing, where everyone's just so in it with each other. Like we just want to see each other succeed so badly, because it's so impossible what we're trying to do. You know, you're trying to have a final draft of a great song in less than a minute.
Yeah, I love the film. We should let everybody know that We Are Freestyle Love Supreme is out now on Hulu. Do yourself a favor and check it out. hopefully when everything, you know, gets back up and running, you can see it in person, because it really is something that you should not miss.
Yes,
So,
we would love that.
thank you so much for taking the time. Good to see you.